Hey everyone, this is Ike from JM Mechanics. Today I'm working on my Jeep, one of my Jeeps. This one is a 99 Grand Cherokee Laredo with a 4.0 liter. And I've done a lot of work to this over the years, restored the suspension, rebuilt the engine, all kinds of stuff. It's my daily driver still, and it's a great Jeep. But I'm getting a bad braking shake in the back end. And it's always had a little bit of a shimmy, but it's getting real bad now. And so I'm investigating this. So we're at the passenger side here. Let me go ahead and pull this off. Now, I figured out something about this. I took this off, flipped it around, and bolted it back on, and then started it up and put it in gear to get it spinning, and then saw how much the rotor oscillates back and forth while it's spinning. And I'll put a video of that in here now. So what that is showing is that the rotor is oscillating back and forth. Not only is that causing a very annoying squeaking noise when you're going down the road and you're not hitting the brakes, you just get this constant squeaking noise in the back, and it drives me nuts. But also when I'm hitting the brakes, I'm feeling a pulse in the brake pedal, and I'm also getting like a shake in the back end. And I suspect there's something similar going on the other side. So let's look into this side first. So what I did find is that the surface here of the axle shaft had been hit a bunch of times, and it was most likely by me years and years ago when I went through this axle, and I was a good bit younger and a good bit more ignorant. But I had hit the axle shaft here with a hammer to get it to pop out of the axle when I was redoing the bearings a long time ago. But what that probably more than likely did is bent the steel. The steel is not very hard. It's actually very mild. And the hammer indents was smushing the steel and creating a bulge out where the rotor needs to mount. So as you can see here, I took a grinder with a nice sanding disc, and every area where I saw a hammer indent had deformed the metal a bit, I ground it down real good in that area just to make sure that that's not causing it to push the rotor out a little bit. You see that there? So what I'm going to do now is do the same thing. My rotors here I'm going to replace anyway, just because why not? So I'm going to bolt the new rotor on, and I also checked this with the new rotor too. The new rotor oscillated just the same, so it wasn't like it was a bent rotor, just a bent rotor. There's definitely something going on with the axle shaft here. So I'm going to bolt the new rotor on backwards, and that just accentuates the movement of the axle shaft, so it's easier to see. And then I'll put it in gear, and I'll show you. I'll put the video in here now. All right, so as you saw, far less oscillation, almost perfect. Still a tiny bit, but for an old axle shaft that's original to the vehicle, I don't think that's going to cause much of an issue. It definitely seemed to be like the dents were misaligning the rotor, and more than likely also misaligning the wheel. So maybe that was the little bit of shimmy I was getting in the wheel too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch up these areas here just with a little bit of paint, let it cure for a little while, and then put my new rotor on shoes, and then we'll be good to go. And I'll see if the brakes still have a shimmy. I'm going to do this same process on the other side, inspect it, check it to see how it's oscillating, and then see if there's the same hammer dents, grind them down, and I think that'll smooth my brakes right out, and I'll have nice smooth braking and no squeaking too. That's the big thing is, man, I hate when the brakes are just squeaking. You're just rolling through town, going past people and stuff, and it's just squeak, 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 and it's just so annoying. But hopefully this fixes it all. Well, hopefully this helps someone out, and thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Yeah, it's pretty messed up.